Thank you so much for joining our session today. Again, we came together for celebrating the divine message of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the primary revelation for us, a very important sacred book, source of information and source of inspiration as well. So before times, we had discussed two main topics. The first was the primary creation, when all the necessary elements of the universe were manifested. And the second time, we discussed the secondary creation, how this world was populated, how a universe which is created is arranged in a peaceful and in a perfect manner to support life. And today we have to come to the third topic, which is the maintenance. If you had created something, you have to maintain it. Without maintenance, there is no use of creation. So in our daily life also, if we create something, if we start something, we have to maintain it for at least for some time. And this happens with the greater creation, the cosmic, macrocosmic creation, which is an artistic expression of the Supreme. This also happens. And if he had started, then our Lord is willing to maintain this world, maintain this universe. It's very, very important. It's like a second phase of the things happening. If you start something, you have to continue. So we can say that creation is like the first step, and maintaining the created universe is like a second step. It is obvious that the exact Sanskrit word for this function, the maintenance, has different meanings. The word is stha, and just to be sure, this word in Sanskrit language has 16 different meanings. But actually, all different meanings focus around something very similar. To stay, the English word also comes from the same root. because to stay somewhere, to be fixed in something, is coming from the same root. So to maintain a universe, it must be like a stationary, something that remains. To stay in one position. This also comes from the same root, stha. And just to tell you some more, to dwell somewhere. If you stay in your home, then you're a grihastha. You stay in a house. So in the same way, God is ready to stay with the universe, with the created world. And also it means to be, to exist, right? If you had created something, it must exist. Otherwise, there's no use, there's no purpose of the whole thing. Also, it means to help, stand by and help. So it's very interesting. To maintain something also means that you are committed to the thing, that you help in the maintenance of the created thing. And what else? To be guided also means, stha has this meaning, to be guided. So how should we understand all these different functions, like stability, staying in one place, dwelling in a location, or to be fixed? Everything is coming around this optimum solution. This is the function of Lord Vishnu, because to maintain the world is a function of Vishnu. Creation is a function of Brahma. This is a passionate function. To destroy, to extinguish the universe, this is the function of Lord Shiva. And this is, he activates the deconstructive, the tamasic powers. But in between the two phases, there is this maintenance. And if creation is rajasic, and if destruction is tamasic, then what is between the two? This is the sattvic function. So we can say that Lord Vishnu takes care of the universe. He protects, he makes it fixed. Also, he's ready to help the universe. A little hidden meaning is there also, to be able to reach, to stha, or the STHANA function, the maintenance function, means that it is reachable. So that person who maintains the universe, you can reach him. And we have to examine how it happens. How is it possible that this happens? And finally, how to meet the maintainer. As I said, the maintenance of the universe is a function of Lord Vishnu, a sattvic, an optimum solution. And that also means that if there is an intelligent creation, there must be some source and there must be some purpose. So the source is the divine willpower. The Supreme Lord wanted to manifest his energies in different ways, and therefore he projected this creation. In another way, we can say that this universe is like a dream of Vishnu, like the Yoga Nidra. In Yoga Nidra, he enjoys this game of creation. It's a very beautiful expression. So this is the source of the creation. What is the purpose of the creation? This is the second phase. If there is a source, if there is a substance for the creation, then we need to find the purpose as well. First of all, the creation is for the benefit of the living beings, because this created world provides a a chance to burn up the karma, to express our gratitude, also to accomplish the path of spiritual development. So these are, we can say, the subjective uses of the universe when it serves the whole created world, serves the purpose of the human beings. But there is another function also, because even the material sphere created serves a divine purpose, not only of showing the beauty as a reflection, as it is not the original one, but also even the material sky, material world, provides an environment for the divine Leelas. So our Lord Krishna is ready to come and visit even the material universe. So this is the purpose of the created world, that it gives an appropriate environment for our Lord to enjoy his Leelas. This is, we can say, an ultimate cause, an ultimate purpose of the created world, that God wants to use it. And therefore he makes it so nice and so accomplished as a creation. Yet we have to ask how this maintaining function is performed, how God maintains the universe. It's very difficult to understand the creation, no doubt. But I think even more difficult to understand the maintenance, as it is a more complicated function. To start something is easy. To stop something is more easy. But to maintain something for a long run, an optimum run, to be functional, this is a most complicated job. So how this maintenance, how this special power, special contribution of the Supreme is functional, how it happens. We can say that our Lord maintains the universe in two different ways. One way is to exercise his pervasive power, to pervade everything. Like by the energies, by the divine presence, he pervades the whole creation. And actually the name Vishnu means this all-pervasion, all-pervasive aspect of the Supreme, that he's everywhere. You cannot find a place, a speck of dust in the material sky which is not connected to him, which is not a manifestation of his energy. So maybe you don't see God face to face, but you can always see his footprints. You can always see his fingerprints. You can always see his creation, his manifested energies, which is non-different from the source. The result, the consequence is non-different from the source. Yet, this immanent presence of the Supreme is rather impersonal. Because if there is a divine energy that pervades everything, that moves everything in the world, it is so diffuse that it's hard to catch in a concentrated form. So definitely this all-pervasive aspect of the Supreme is kind of impersonal. Nevertheless, it's present everywhere, and this is like a mystic experience to find the immanence, to find God in the things, in the manifested universe. In order to perceive his presence, we need to develop a more subtle vision, so that it's not only the bricks and the stones that you see, but you see the spirit behind. It's not only the material elements that you perceive, but you see the moving factor, the motivating factor behind the obvious things. So even to perceive that divine presence, we need to develop a certain spiritual vision. Yet, we can say that this presence, this immanent presence of the Supreme is just like how the king maintains his kingdom through the representatives. A real kingdom cannot exist without a king. Yet the king is living in his palace, although the whole kingdom is pervaded by his presence. But his presence is activated through some agents, like the ministers, like the local representatives, etc. It's not the direct visit, the direct presence of the king, but through some agents. This is very similar in the cosmic affairs. It is pervaded by the presence of the divine energy, but it's not localized. It's not the personal side. Yet there is another function, there is another way of maintaining, and this is by the personal presence, by the visitations. Like when the king personally comes and visits your town or your home. So this is what we can say that when God visits the created universe, this is another type of maintenance. And this happens through the appearance of personal forms, like incarnations, avatars, or by a special method. This is called the multiplication. And we try to come back to that point because that's very interesting in our deeper faith. So maintenance in the second manner happens by this personal assistance, and God comes. The personal visit of the king. So just recently somebody asked, all right, Sri Krishna, but from which realm, which stage of the universe, of the words he's coming from? Where is his representation? Where is his source? And for us, it's obvious that he comes from the absolute center of the universe, of everything that is manifested later on. And this is his personal realm, his personal home, Goloka Vrindavan. And but Lord Vishnu, as pervades the universes by the energy presence, and also from time to time, in each day of Brahma, he comes in some personal form, as an avatar, as an incarnation, as a specially surcharged person who represents some of his capabilities, some of his divine functions. And we know that the purpose of all these different appearances of the Supreme are different. In general, we can say that one main purpose of the Supreme coming again and again to the world is to recreate the balance. If the balance is broken, then we need to recreate the balance. Without that, the bird cannot function properly. And just remember all these different meanings of the word stha, to be there for assistance, to help, to be present, to live. So without this proper balance, this life, this assistance, this stability in life cannot happen. So from time to time, the balance is gone, the balance is lost. Nevertheless, we have to regain the balance, and how the balance of the world of the created universe is regained through divine presence, divine assistance. Other times, the Lord fulfills some special missions. So the general mission is to recreate the balance. A special mission is to fulfill some very specific duties. For example, all the main avatars of Lord Vishnu, they have very special functions, like Varahadev to lift up the planet Earth from the submerged, that is submerged in the cosmic ocean, or Nisinga to protect the devotee Prahlad. So there are different special functions that he wants to fulfill. But ultimately we can say that the real purpose of our Lord to come and visit the universe is to enjoy his Leela. God is free. He is not obliged to do things, although he is ready to help the created world. He is not obliged. But through the compassion, through the willingness to assist, he is ready to come and recreate the balance between the light and the darkness. And he is in favor of the light, fortunately. So darkness has not so much to say in the cosmic creation. So the avatars, the Guna, the Lila, the Manvantara, and the Yuga avatars, or the Shaktavesh avatars, they all have different functions, different duties that they carry on for the maintenance of the world. And these are shared by the different aspects of Lord Vishnu coming to this world. Sometimes the Lord himself comes. So generally, all these secondary emanations or secondary representatives come, but sometimes the Supreme Lord himself comes. This is when the king visits his kingdom. And we are very fortunate to have Lord Krishna sometimes coming, and also we are very fortunate to have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming in recent years, only 500 years and something more. So it's not very far away. That means we are very close to the divine presence in that sense, in the historic sense as well. So to quote a few words from the Gita in order to describe this all-pervasive presence of the Supreme, let me read from the 7th chapter, where in the 12th verse Krishna says, all different species of life are manifested from my energy, be it in the goodness or the rajas or the ignorance. So all different forms come from me. You have to understand that in a certain sense, I am all. I am everything. Yet I preserve my independence. So this all-pervasive aspect is the immanent side, and when the energy is manifested, and the personal presence, like when he maintains his independence, his personal existence, this is a transcendent aspect. So understand, I am all, yet independent from everything. So this freedom is a kind of divine feature. We cannot be independent of everything. We are depending. We are dependent realities as spirit souls, but we depend on the divine presence and the divine source. Then what about another aspect, how nature is functioning due to the presence of the Supreme? Let me again quote some verses now from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Very, very interesting. And this is in the third canto, chapter 29, and the verses from the 40. Few verses I'd like to quote. The wind blows from fear of God. The sun shines through fear of love. Therefore, the rain is coming down, and therefore the stars are bright in the sky. So fear of God is like a motivating factor. The trees, the plants, and the grass, and all the different plants coming in different seasons, they also bring the flowers and the fruits due to fear of God. The rivers are running and bring their water due to fear of God, and it is only due to fear of God that the fire is burning, and therefore the planet Earth is still on its orbit. All the representatives acknowledge the superiority of the Lord, and everything is under the control of the Supreme Lord. So here we see that the function of the universe is like a kind of due to fear. It's very difficult to understand for us because usually a devotee is not fearful. He is abhaya. And here in these verses, the proper word that is used is bhaya. Due to this bhaya, due to this fear, everything is maintained, everything is functional. Well, personally, I think it's not a kind of threatened fear, but simply the understanding of the grandeur, the Aishwarya of the universe. If you know the law, if you know the truth, that is a burden that provokes some fear, some apprehension. And due to this powerful presence, everything is functioning in the world. Of course, we don't say that the sun is trembling on the sky, but due to this powerful presence of the Supreme, everything is functional. You see? So therefore, maybe on this platform, it's easier to understand why some religious processes quote the fear of God. To realize this omnipotent presence of the Supreme, I think it's an awesome feeling. It's something that you bow your head because it's so great, so unbelievable. It's so powerful, this presence, that it invokes this kind of feelings. If we say that God is the maintainer, like you remember this nickname for God, or this explaining the name God, like God, generator, operator, and destructor. So the operator, how he operates. For that, I'd like to quote yet another scripture, and this is the Brahma Samhita. One of my favorite verse is here, that I worship Gobinda, the original Lord, whose power maintains everything in the created universe. All the revelation is maintained by his power. All the merits, so all dharma is maintained by him. All the Vedas, all the penance, the tapas, even the living entities are maintained by him, plus the mistakes. It's very, very difficult to understand. How is it that the mistakes are maintained by God? Right? He maintains the mistakes in order that we commit them, Or what's the purpose here? What's the explanation here? Why you should maintain mistakes? Then people will commit mistakes, right? Better eliminate the mistakes, then nobody will commit the mistakes. Unfortunately, not. Even if there are no mistakes, we shall invent the mistakes and do them. So I think due to the limited capacities of the human being, the mistakes should be also under control. The mistakes are also under divine control. Therefore, we can say that a mistake is like a trap. A mistake is like a trap. And usually we go into the trap. We are victims of this stereotype situations in life. These are the mistakes. These are the traps that you have to go through. So mistakes are there to learn from them. So ultimately, we can be very grateful for God to provide the mistakes. Because from the mistakes, from the failures, we can learn a lot. If your path is unblocked, it's so easy, so smooth, you will not remember that it's a glorious path. You will think it's an easy and cheap path, but it's not. So mistakes are also maintained by the Supreme, and it's, please think it over. How is it? Of course, don't quote this verse when you commit mistakes. Oh, it is maintained by God, so I'm not responsible. It's his business maintaining my mistakes. No, don't quote like this. But if somebody commits a mistake towards you, or in general, somebody commits a mistake, don't blame, don't judge him. It's part of his training. And in this way, we can develop some compassion to others if we understand that we are all under the control of the mistakes. Yet, the mistakes are under the control of the Supreme. Right? I think it's very, very practical to develop our relationships to other human beings. And finally, another verse, the last verse from, from the Brahma Samhita for now, which says, I worship Gobinda, the original Lord, whose power dominates the whole creation in a victorious way. Through the Leelas, he dominates in a victorious way all the creation. So it's so beautiful. All the pros and all the cons are victoriously dominated by the Supreme through his Leelas, through his divine pastimes. And I think this is the key for us, to see the divine arrangement, even behind the most difficult situations, right? Then it gives us a different hope that somebody is waiting for us at the end of our road, at the end of our path. So these are a few examples, few quotations, just to show how this divine maintenance happens through impersonal presence, through maintaining even the mistakes, and through providing the energy for the whole creation to function, and ultimately to be dominated over by the divine Leelas. This is our real hope. And therefore now, specifically, we have to examine how the different realms of the universes are maintained. There are a lot of different words: material sphere, spiritual sky, Vaikuntha planets, Goloka Vrindavan, how all these different planes of existence are manifesting and maintained. So it is said that the material world is maintained by the external Shakti, the external power of God Supreme. Easy. This is a world of illusion, and in one way we can say that the world of illusion is maintained by the illusion, maintained by the external power of the Supreme. Yet, don't forget the Gita, where Krishna says that the jivas, my superior energy, who are struggling very hard with the material nature, actually they contribute to the maintenance of the world. So in one way, we are partners in maintaining this world. Sometimes through our mistakes and stupidity, because if you are sick, there must be a hospital to cure you. So this is one way of contributing for the maintenance of the material sky from the side of the jivas. But also, if you are a very responsible person and if you purify yourself in a proper manner, then you can take some responsible job in creation. Just to give a very simple example, you can become head of a family. You can become a mother of children, or you can be a servant of your spiritual master or a leader of an ashram. So these are very responsible jobs in the material sphere, looks like in the material sphere, although serving Lord Krishna and the divine couple, this is a spiritual service, yet it happens in the material sphere. So in general, we can say that material universe is maintained by the external power of the Supreme. Now, what about the Vaikuntha planets? This is a spiritual sky where the Aishwarya, the grandeur, the greatness of God is experienced in a very, very gorgeous manner. It is said that this realm is maintained by the divine power. The divine power, Vaikuntha planets are maintained by the divine power of the Supreme. Divine means beyond birth and death. So it's an eternal plane. It's beyond any human conception. Therefore, it is divine. Yet we know that there is an even higher realm of reality, and for us, this is Goloka, Goloka Vrindavan. And how Goloka Vrindavan is maintained? Definitely not by the external energy, not even simply by the spiritual energy, but Goloka Vrindavan is specifically maintained by the loving capacity of Krishna. So therefore, this is, we can say, that if the material world is a world of illusion, if the Vaikuntha world is a world of eternity, then we can say that the Goloka plane of existence is a world of love, affection. So the affectionate power, the loving capacity maintains Goloka for Krishna, providing a full-scale opportunity to enjoy his leelas there. And therefore we can say that this is the most intimate and the most proper, the most home comfort for Krishna. All other realms like the Vaikuntha, this is like an official presence for him. He acts like a king, he acts like a god. But in Vrindavan, he acts like a Gopal. In Vrindavan, he acts like a son of Mother Yashoda. In Vrindavan, he acts like a lover of the gopis. Very intimate, very free. There he is free to enjoy as he likes. He's not bound by any duty. And we can say that, therefore Sridhar Maharaj says that from the experience of fear and insecurity, this is the material plane, we have to come to the land of beauty and love. So simply put, the path and the perspective of a devotee. From the limited state of consciousness, come to the realm of love. It's so beautiful. So these are the different grades of the maintaining power of our Krishna. Insignificant things he maintains through the external potency. Important things, and the most important things, he maintains through his love. It's supermost power. Love is the ultimate power in the creation. And we can say that actually, in the world of experience for us human beings, there are two different powers, two different elements that we can perceive. One is the strength, the power, and the other is the affection, the love. Of course, now it sounds very dry, but let me quote an experience from today. Today in the morning, the sun started to appear on the horizon and gave a very nice hue to the clouds and illuminated the path with all this golden shine. It was very, very meaningful, powerful and meaningful experience. Yet, on the other side, on the western side of the sky, there was the moon setting. The moon was setting on the western horizon. Before sunrise, it was more visible, but as the sun became more powerful, the moon started to fade away. Still there on the sky, but fading, like hiding. And this is very practical and very poetic at the same time. So sun represents the obvious power, the most powerful object on the sky. And moon is like the hidden secret on the midnight sky. And when the power of the sun, the illumination of the sun comes, then the secret moon hides away. So we can say that these two elements in life, these two elements in the universe, like power and love, if there is too much power, sometimes the love withdraws, like hides, shades away, fades away. But when the night comes, the sun will set and the moon will regain its position. So when the power game is over, then the love will again come. So this is the point here. These two elements in life, the strength or power and the affection or love, they're always, trying to balance each other. They always chase after each other. If one dominates, the other cannot happen. If the other dominates, then the first is disappearing. And it's so beautiful to see. And this is a way for us to remember these two elements in creation, power and love. And as I said, the fire burns due to fear of God, the sky, the stars are in the sky due to fear of God, etc., etc. Everything is functional in the universe due to this powerful presence. Yet when the power is withdrawn, then a more intimate, a more secret lila starts to happen, and this is the loving affairs. And of course, this is a very, very long topic, the maintenance of the universe. Yet we have to ask ourselves how our beloved, most cherished lords, they maintain their environment. How Krishna maintains his environment for the Leelas, and how Mahaprabhu maintains the world that belongs to him. These are very important questions for us. And there is only one more important question, but I hope we shall come to that point at the end. So first, let's try to understand how Krishna maintains his personal environment. Krishna is Leela Purushottam, so he comes only to enjoy his Leelas. Therefore, we can say that his main function is not to maintain a universe, but he has to maintain the Leelas, right? So, and from all the different Leelas, the Ras Leela is the most important. So Krishna's focus is to maintain the Ras Leela, right? And Ras Leela, when meeting the gopis and Krishna, this is a beautiful romantic story, but the deeper meaning behind, let's say symbolic meaning, is that all the creation is a manifestation of this divine meeting, divine unity of the beautiful Krishna and the loving Radha. Everything comes from that meeting. Everything, your life, your individual existence, also due to that divine contact between Radha and Govinda. This is very, very beautiful. And what happens before the Ras Leela? The invitation happens. The invitation happens. So how to maintain a Leela? To invite the necessary participants, right? Because without Radhika, without the gopis, there is no dance. Without a good dancer, Krishna, there is also no dance either. So we need the dancers, we need the music, we need the ambience, we need the mood, the full moon night. We need all the necessary ingredients in order to maintain the divine Leela. And Krishna provides, Krishna collects everything that is necessary for that. He doesn't let it not happen. He wants it to happen. And actually, it is such a mystic experience that, as it is said in our Shastras, that the Ras Leela happened, although during one night, but this one night was so long that the life of Brahma, or one day of Brahma, is a very long time. So that means the divine Leela overcomes the time factor. Time stops when Krishna enjoys his Leelas. And actually this fear of God that I mentioned before is due to the presence of time, because time factor limits everything in the material world. So even the sun and the moon is trembling from the time as a representative of Krishna. But in the Ras Leela, there's no time, right? There's only eternity. Eternal moment of ecstasy, right? And sometimes when you chant your rounds, you can feel this. Somehow time has changed, right? When you're deep in your meditation, you will lose control on the external thing. Time and space will change. You chant, you feel like chanting 2 rounds and half an hour happened, just expired. Or the other thing, it is said that in Krishna's Ras Leela, millions of gopis had taken part. How come? Impossible to put so many people in one place. So that means not only the time factor, but also the space factor is overcome through by the Leelas of Krishna. You see, so it's quite a mystic experience that the dimensions change due to the presence of this Leela. And as I told you, the presence happens through avatars, through incarnations, through special representatives, but also, and here we come to the point, it happens by multiplication. Multiplication. Krishna multiplies himself, right? Because it's very, very nice to imagine the picture, how one gopi, one Krishna is dancing, right? Each gopi has the feeling of, oh, Krishna has come to me only. He is dancing with me. How it happens if millions of gopis are there. Through this expansion, through this multiplication. It's called, when Krishna multiplies himself for the sake of satisfying his devotee, this is the Prabhava Prakash. Prabhava means projected existence. Projected existence, in order to serve the happiness of the devotees, of the gopis. So we can say that they have general features. They resemble just like Krishna, like copies of Krishna, but they can establish a very personal relationship with the individual devotees. So this multiplication is there. Krishna multiplies himself in order to maintain and to maintain the lila and to feed the fire of this divine experience. So he likes it so much that he wants to enjoy more. Therefore, he comes in more forms, just to have more mouths to taste the ras, more ears to listen to the music, more eyes to see, to perceive the beauty all around. He wants to experience more. Therefore, in this way, he maintains for himself. He's playing with himself, with his most intimate devotees. And what about our Lord Chaitanya? If Krishna is maintaining his Leela, then Mahaprabhu must also do something about it. So how it happens in his case? We can say that Mahaprabhu is not simply a Leela Purushottam, or a supreme person enjoying his pastimes, but also that he is a merciful avatar. Mahaprabhu is the merciful avatar. And also we can say that he's a Gupta avatar, hidden, a secret person with a secret mission. So we are so fortunate to be introduced into some secrets. Everybody wants to know secrets. And what is his Leela? His Leela is to save the fallen guys, to save recruit, invite back home the fallen souls who had started a separate journey for themselves. So what is for Krishna the Ras Leela? For Mahaprabhu, this is a Sankirtan Yagya. So there is no difference. One is for the volcanic eruption of loving exchange, like the Ras Leela, and the Sankirtan Yagya, or the glorification, the joint glorification of the holy names, is like the burning lava of divine love, as it is described by Shashida Maharaj. Right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we can say, a Prem avatar, or the incarnation for divine love, to experience and to show to the world the divine love. His fuel to maintain his lila is a loud sankirtan. Mahaprabhu likes the loud chanting. Once I met a senior leading sannyasi of an ashram in Vrindavan, and the younger devotees asked me whether you want to meet our superior, and I said, yeah, of course, I feel like honored. So I went up to him. He was sitting in his armchair and chanting the names, and I offered my respect and asked, oh, Maharaj, can you please give us some guidance or some teachings that we can take home? And then he said, yes, I can give Harinam. And then he said, but loud, but loud. So the loud chanting of the holy names is like a favorite mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like inviting everyone to this mission. Mahaprabhu has a mission to convert the fallen souls. But how his multiplication will happen? He also multiplies, but not in individual person himself, but he projects and gives his powers to his devotees, right? Like the Goswamis, they were empowered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accomplish certain jobs, like to describe the ras, the science of ras. This was dedicated to Rupa Goswami, and to collect all the rules and regulations. This was dedicated to Sanatana Goswami, etc., etc. So he dedicated his powers to his beloved devotees. This was his multiplication. And Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu was like great stalwarts, the two main helpers for him in distributing the glories of the holy name. So his multiplication happens in this way, that he empowers his devotees. And finally, I want to ask how you can help to maintain Krishna's Leelas, how you can help to feed Mahaprabhu's mission. I think there is a way. If we ourselves become more and more accomplished in our spiritual experience, in our spiritual services, then we can contribute. Just remember that beautiful picture when Krishna lifts the Govardhan hill and the older Gopas will take their stick to hold the hill. Or preaching, chanting and preaching. This is the way to help Mahaprabhu's Leela, right? So if you contribute with your efforts, if you contribute with your services to the mission, I think this is the most beautiful way of understanding what happens. Because isn't that beautiful that somebody maintains this chance for us to practice? I think we have to be very grateful that somebody takes care of us, provides a chance to do insignificant little services. That's a miracle that we can chant. That's a miracle that we can associate, even if not in person, then at least through the ether, right? So somebody is taking care. The Lord is taking care that He maintains all these chances of divine service. And if we do nicely, if we contribute nicely, if we become nice devotees, then we help to maintain the divine Leela. Then we are part of Mahaprabhu's mission. I think it's a very high invitation. It's a very beautiful invitation. But finally, let me ask you, who maintains your life? What is the source of your existence? Who provides everything for you? Whose bread you take? Because where we take our bread, we belong to that point. We belong to that master who supplies our bread. And I think on this special day, we have to examine the meaning of our life. If there is a maintainer of this beautiful, grand creation, the universe, like a divine assistance for everybody, everything created, for a divine presence, for a personal God. It's so nice to be able to serve. It's so nice to join this campaign and examine yourself, examine your life. What is the source? What is the meaning of our existence? If we can find a proper and satisfying answer to that question, we are more happy. Because I had found a very nice conclusion which explains all this divine function of creation and maintenance, why the world is created in order to be maintained. That's one explanation. But there is a hidden purpose behind. It is said, in love, there's only one rule. There's only one rule in love, and that is service. Those who love, they must serve. This is our conclusion. This is what we have learned from our masters and what we had seen in their example. So remembering all this grand journey from the beginning of creation through the maintenance, and we shall see some further steps. This is the permanent motivation. Those who love must serve. Love knows only one rule, and that is to serve. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope it serves your spiritual benefit well. And let me offer my respects to our masters and all those present or paying attention. Gyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Salake Chakshurun Militam Dena Tasmai Sri Gurave. Thank you so much. Was it useful? How do you think?
Yes, Gurudev.
Jai. Of course, what can you say to such a question? But really, I think it's very, very important to think how our life is maintained. It's a mystic experience, right? How it happens, we don't know. And Krishna provides a separate universe for his devotees. This is how I feel. That's how I feel.
I feel
right?
better.
You agree?
Yeah.
Jai.
I feel better. And I organize objects in my room when you listen to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In many respects, we are blocked. We are limited, but we have to find the ways how to overcome the limitations. So please help me and also help yourself and help others to overcome the limitations. Jai.
I see. Joy.
I don't hear anything.
There's some still, there are people that are just joining us.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Cesar, we cannot hear you very well.
I'm new at this platform Zoom, and I don't speak English very well, but tried to speak correctly.
That's good. Ultimately, we have to speak the language of the heart, which everybody understands. So
Yeah.
don't bother about the grammar and the words. Just express. We have to express our ultimate gratitude, the final gratitude to our caretakers. Because somebody takes care. And if somebody is ready to take care of you, please you also be ready to take care of others. It's so simple. There's only one rule. Serve others. That's the practical translation of Gopi Bhav, or the service to the gopis, right?
Yes. I see again.
Also, I have to announce that one my very dear God brother has passed away on Good Friday, so last Friday in the early morning. He passed away. His name is Anadi Krishna Prabhu. And I still remember the day of his initiation and the picture of his initiation. He looked like a shining angel, a bright shining angel. The young man with all the prospects and all the hopes of a full and complete and beautiful spiritual lifetime ahead of him. And he received this beautiful name from our Guru Maharaj, Anadi Krishna. So the no beginning of our Krishna. And now as he deceased, he passed away. I think he joined the Ananta Krishna, the never-ending Krishna. So from Anadi, no beginning, he joined the never-ending word. And somehow it reminds me of our joint sacrifice, the Ananta Bhajan, which I want to express my full gratitude for all of you to come together and to serve in this way, because I think it was simply ecstatic. It was so nice, and it was a real purpose. This is worth living like this, to be connected through continents, through countries, through difficulties, barriers, but the holy name unites us. I think it's so beautiful and such a powerful experience. So thank you all so much for joining that, because that was a real devotional experience. And we hope that somehow, in a very insignificant manner, we could contribute to maintain Mahaprabhu's Leela in this way. So thank you so much from the deepest core of my heart for that service. That was extraordinary. Thank you.
Danga, where is
Jai. So again, this was very important to meet you, and please keep up the fire. And I think now I have to leave, but only in body. In spirit, I will stay with you. Thank you so much. And Dandavat to our Slovenian brothers. Madan Gopalji, thank you for joining us. It's always a help if you are here. And all others from Hungary, from Bulgaria, and from all other places. And it's such an important and nice feeling that we belong together.
Gurudev?
Da.
You have done that also from the ashram in Austria.
Oh my God.
They are in Facebook.
Jai, thank you. Blessings. Dandavat Pranam. It's so nice to be connected like this. I'm so happy. And I wish all blessings come upon you, million times of more what we had perceived so far. And yes, see you next time. I think in 1 month's time we shall meet again, right?
Yes.
Jai.
Yes.
Please pray for me and be blessed.
Jai.
Gurudeva ki.
Gurudev.
Gurudeva.
Jai.
Jai ho.
Jai.
Jai.
Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai.
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 Hey, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.